All right, hello once again, Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College. So far in this chapter, we've gone through numbers 1, 2, and 3, and now it's time to go on to number 4. All right, and as it says, we will create a program named OrderExceptionDemo that attempts to create several valid and invalid order objects. Immediately after attempting to instantiate or create each object, handle any thrown exceptions by displaying an error message. We are to create an order class, and I'm going to do that pretty much first. That order class is to have 3 fields: item number, quantity, and day ordered. They will all be integer fields. The order constructor requires values for each field. And also there are domains for each field. So the item number must be less than 100. I think I put in greater than or equal to, but we'll put in less than 100. So if it's less than 100, or if it's greater than 999, so it's got to be 3 digits long, or if the quantity ordered is less than 1 or more than 12, or if the day ordered, we're assuming every day has 31 months, which we all know is wrong, or the day ordered is not between 1 and 31 inclusive, then we are to throw an argument exception. If there's valid data for each field, then we display the data. Okay, so this is order exception. As I just did, I'm going to go and write this one again pretty much from scratch. So let's come in here and we'll start up a new Visual Studio instance. So there's order exception demo. There it is, and once again I have these comments put in that same file that I showed you before. So they are in here and under order info. Oh, I think for some reason I accidentally put the order info. This one should be order info 2. We'll call this, I'll tell you what, 4B, and this one will be called 4A. So there's A. Those are the same comments I just read to you. So let's copy that to the clipboard. Come back to our program and let's drop that in here. First, before we even do that, let's put in our old using static system.console. All right. There is our comment. All right, so we're sitting good right now. First thing I want to do is I want to, right now all I've got is a main right here. First thing I want to do is actually build my order class, because we're told to add an order class. So I go up to the name of my project, not my solution, but my project, click on it, then right click on it and choose Add, New Item, and the first thing that's there is a class. That's what we want. But we don't want it to be called class1.cs. We want it to be called order.cs. So there's our order class. All right, we're going to build that. It's not real big. It's about 50 or so lines, 56 lines. So it's a quarter of it's already done. So let's declare and initialize our program constants. I'm going to do something that's going to look a little weird here for a second, but I'm going to say here public, and I'm going to make these public so that they'll be able to be accessed here, and if we need to, in the order file. So I'm going to say here public const int, I'm going to say min equals, and I'll just put a 0 there. All right, because I'm going to have 6 of these. So the first thing I want here is min item number. And I don't want that to be 0. I want that to be 100. And that will be the smallest legal item number. This one will become max item number, and we want that to be set to 999. And that will, of course, be the largest legal item number. Then we've got min quantity. This will be max quantity. And the minimum quantity that we can have, the smallest we're told is 1. So that's the smallest allowable quantity. And the largest allowable quantity that we're going to have here, let's move these over. Yeah, I'm a little anal about this. The largest we can have is 999. All right, finally we're going to have a minimum day number. And that's going to be set equal to 1. And we'll have a max day number. Whoops, max day number. And we're going to set that equal to 31. So, min item number 100, max item number 999, min quantity 1, max quantity, and that is incorrect, is 12. Min day number 1, max day number 31. So those are our 6 program constants. Next, we want our instance variables. In other words, each item will have these 3 things: private, int, item number, private, int, quantity, private, int, order date. We'll call it, yeah, I've got it called order date in mind. It probably would be better as order day. All right, let's put comments off to the side of each one of these. Order item number. How about orders item or orders item number? Order quantity and day item ordered. Now we can go nuts here if we want to. Remember that item number. We could put just a number here, and then because that's got to be 100 through 999. Now it all shows on the screen. We've got our quantity, and that has to be between 1 and 12. And we've got our day, our item ordered, and that has to be between 1 and 31. Oops. There we go. So those are all the checks that we're going to have to make. So we've declared our class. We've got our class constants. We've got our class instance variables. So it's time for the constructors, and for our methods, I should say. And the first method we will build will be the constructor. We'll put a comment in here that says validate each field against the constants above. All right. So public order. We will pass in an int that's called item, another int that's, we'll call it QTY for quantity, and another int that we'll call day for order day. So this item is that item number, this quantity is that quantity, this day is that order day. All right. So first we will validate the item number, and again, that is supposed to be between 100 and 999. So if the item, remember that's the item number, if it's less than the min item number, so if it's less than 100, or if the item is greater than the max item number, or if it's greater than 999, if either one of those are the case, we want to throw a new argument exception, because we just put in something that was not legal. All right, let's cheat a little bit here and let's grab this whole if statement and the comment that went with it. And then let's come in here and paste that in. Come on. All right, so we validated the item number. The next thing we have to validate is the item quantity. And remember, that is supposed to be between 1 and 12. All right, so if the item is less than the minimum quantity, or the item is greater than the max quantity, all right, so if either of those are true, again, we want to throw another new argument exception. Finally, all right, we have to validate the item order day, and that day must be between 1 and 31. So if the day is less than the min min day number and max day number. So if that's the case, we again want to throw the new argument exception. All right. Now, if we get all the way through and this was valid, so we didn't throw that exception, and if this is valid, so we didn't throw that exception, and if this is valid, so we didn't throw that exception, all right, then, and actually we probably should have done that here. Assign parameters above to associated instance variables. So item number equal item, quantity equal QTY, and finally order day equals day. All right, so all that is done. Now, if we did not have an error here, and if we did not have an error here, and if we did not have an error here, that means that everything we did succeeded. So we want to output, all right, we want to output our order exception. How about order information? All right, so I'll put a right line in here, and that's fine. I'll fix that in a second. We'll follow that with a read line. As always, I've got to come back up here, add my using static system.console. All right. Now in this right line, we're going to say valid order created with the following. All right. So we'll put another right line in here. And this will say, let's put a backslash n here. So that way each order will start on a new line and have a line between it. So this will say order number. That's backslash t. We'll see how that looks. 0. And that's going to be followed by backslash n order quantity, followed by a backslash t, and we want that to say order day. All right, so I'll make that small so you can see it all on one line. So we'll have order number, then we'll have a tab followed by the order number, order quantity, a tab, and the order quantity, and that's got to be a 1, and order day in a tab, and another parameter. And those parameters will be item number, quantity, and order date, or order day, I guess it is. All right. So that's all done. I am now finished. I've now completed the order class. So now I've got to go back and I've got to write the main. A little bit longer, but it's not too bad. So let's save this and go back to main. There was my comment, so that's all in there. That's good. So what do I want to do in here? Well, I'm going to put each one of these objects that I attempt to create in its own try catch block. So I'm going to say here try. And we'll even try to put some comments in here. Object order 1 try. So that should be begin. And that should be end. Catch. All right, so there's our try catch. So we'll put here, because it will be, this first one that we're going to try will be valid. All fields valid. So order, all fields valid. So order 1 equals new order, and we will add to that 111. That's a valid item number. We want a valid quantity, which must be between 1 and 12, so let's make it 10. We want a valid order day, which must be between 1 and 31. We'll make that 13. All right. If we have an error, we want to catch it, and when we do, we want to do a write line. And we want it to say order order1 colon \t e dot message. Now it's not going to like that. I just want an e dot, not an else. Okay, and we had a catch here. An argument exception. E. All right, we'll make that E1, and then that will have to be E1. All right, now that is a valid order. So I'm going to copy this a bunch of times. Put in my semicolon. All right, so there's our first try catch. Now we're going to begin our order 2 try. And we'll put in here item number out of range too low. So we'll make this negative, okay? And that's got to be an order 2, and that's got to be a 2, and this can be a 2, a 2, a 2, a 2, and a semicolon. All right, and that should also be a 2. Looks like it's clean to me. I don't see any errors. So now we're going to try to do object order 3, and this number will be too high. So remember, our valid range is 100 to 999, so let's put in 1111. All right, this will have to be a 3, into 3, into 3, into 3, and a 3. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. Let's take a look at what we've got so far. Oh, and I was going to say I don't have a read line in here, so I've got to put that in. So order 1, oh, it says value does not fall within the expected range. We'll have to see what's wrong with that. All right, but we are getting output, which is always a good sign. So what was wrong with this first one? 111, that's valid. 10, that should be valid. 13, that should be valid. What doesn't it like? Min item number is 100, max is 999, min quantity is 1, max is 12, min day number is 1, max is 31, okay? Item is less than min or greater than max, less than min or greater than max, less than min or greater than max. All look correct as far as I can tell. Oops. But I'm not getting valid output for number 1. This one here. Wish I knew what was wrong with that, but just taking a quick look, I don't. But I'm going to grab this first before we go on and try to even fix it. Copy. So this will be object 4. And this will be the quantity is going to be out of range too low. So that I can put in, 1, 1, 1. There's the quantity. it shouldn't be quantity. Yeah, it should be quantity. Now I'll put in as 100. Quantity out of range too low. Order 4, 4, 4, 4. Okay. The next one should be just like that. But whereas this one said the quantity was too low, this next one should say that the quantity is too high. And we'll make that just like we have there 100. So this will be order 5. Okay. And we'll do 2 more. We'll do number 6 and number 7. Oops. 2 more. Try to do 2 more. Copy. Paste. So this was 5. 5. This will be 6. And this will be quantity out of range, not quantity, but this will be order day out of range, and it'll be too low. Six, 6, good. No, that should be number 7. This was, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 5, 6, and 7. And again, that will have to be a value here for day of the month that's too high. Right now, it looks like I'm going to get errors for all of them, and I do. That's got to change. But that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And 2 through 7 should have been wrong. Okay, so that's order 1, that's order 2. This should be a 3. That should be a 3. That should be a 4. That should be a 5. That should be a 6. And that should be a 7. All right. let's put at the end of these plus \n. We'll put in yet another \n. So we'll put in some spacing in there so it'll look a little nicer. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And if we run this now, looks a little nicer. Guess I've got a couple of them in here after number 3, so I'll have to fix that. Then we'll have to fix our number 1 and see if we can figure out what the problem is. 1, 2, 3. There must be another read line in here. That's all I can think of. So I've got that one. We want to keep that one. That's at the end of our program. Do we have another one in here? Yep, right there. So now let's run it one more time. That's the output we want, except record number 1 is wrong, and I've got to try to figure out why. Because everything that's in there is valid. The new order, 111 is the item number, 10 is the quantity, and 13 is the order day. Those all look valid to me. Less than min, greater than max, less than min, greater than max, less than min, greater than max. They all look right. Day, item. Oh, there you go. This is quantity. And so is that. All right. Let's try one more time. There, our first order was valid. There's the order number. There's the quantity. There's the order day. And the other ones do not fall within the expected range. Okay? Now I hope that that helped. And if you need to go back and take a look at it, that you're able to do so. All right? And that's it for the lectures until we come back to class on Monday the 6th.